Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Data Inside Arena podcast. My name is Igor, and I'll be your host. It is the place where we explore the intricate world of data mining and custom built platforms, as well as learn from experts about the latest technologies and tools available to companies which would like to acquire data in today's competitive world. We're excited to have with us today Oleg from Group BWT. Oleg, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you well. Thank you very much for having me today.
Pleasure. It's our pleasure to have you, Oleg. So, today we have a rather interesting topic. We're going to discuss price monitoring solution. As we know, it is a commonplace for e-commerce platforms, but not so much in other areas. And I would like to start this off with the general question of if you can explain to us why should companies invest in custom solutions for competitor price monitoring overall?
Well, that's the answer is very simple because the more you know about your competitors, the more you know about your competitors' prices, the better you can adjust your marketing strategy and your pricing policy. The question is whether companies should invest into building custom solutions or using those that already exist on the market. The answer to this question really depends on many factors, but the short answer to your question is that yes, companies definitely must invest into
Mhm.
monitoring prices on the market and monitoring prices of their competitors.
Awesome. So then what advantages do custom solutions have over the off the shelf products?
That's a good question. So when we're talking about custom solutions, and let's dive deeper into what custom solutions are and what
Hmm.
companies need them, or what alternatives are there. There are lots of ready-made services, tools, software for for price tracking, for price analysis in e-commerce sector. However, there are the industries that do not sell on the marketplaces that have, although rather big companies, but they have very limited competitors on in their industry and on their market. For those companies, it's a bit more complicated to find a ready-made solution compared to
Hmm.
e-commerce companies that can just subscribe and start using the service from day one. What is the benefit is that let's imagine this scenario. So you are the company that is selling some digital product, uh, let's say in cybersecurity industry, and you
Hmm.
have or maybe 12 major competitors who you are competing against. And there are like, I don't know, dozens of products that you and your competitors sell. And those products are very similar. And you want to know what your competition, how much your competition charges for those products.
Hmm.
If you don't automate the price analysis process in this time, then you would need to have a person, a human, who will be doing this manually. The prices in such industries, they vary really, and they depend on the geography, the location of the consumers, on the local currency of the country where you sell
Hmm.
the products at. The prices depend on the duration of your subscription. In many cases, you sign up for the lower price, then after the renewal, you get other price, usually higher. So
Hmm.
when the human has a task to check all those prices and monitor them regularly, that just takes lots of time, super time consuming process. And by the time when you
I see.
finish collecting the prices, some of the one of the competitors could have already changed something, which makes the entire process pretty much useless. And we're talking only about the price collection right now. They need to analyze it somehow make a decision, somehow get the competitive advantage, and so on and so forth. So the benefit of automating this process is that first of all, it's much faster. Second of all, it removes the human factor from the
Hmm.
equation, and third, it gives you great opportunity to make decisions faster and more accurate. So that's what
Hmm.
about that.
That's great. That does make sense. So then let's move forward. Let's discuss. Can you tell us what makes the software like this valuable, and particularly what are the features that it's made out of?
What we've discussed in the previous part of our conversation is that the main benefit of the software is the accuracy, is the speed of the data collection, and the ability for the human team then make certain decisions based on the data that has been collected. So the main features of the software of the platform, if the company decides to build or to look for the ready-made solution or build the solution for themselves in a custom way. So the main features, the main benefits that it has is that it can contain the historical data, it can show the real-time price data, it can have notifications that trigger the responsible team or responsible team member in the marketing department or whatever, can trigger them in real time if something has changed for one of the competitors, so that people can make the team of the business that uses this platform can make timely decision and educated decision, first of all, to react on any changes that the competitors do. The data, historical real-time data notifications, it is also possible to visualize the data and make the graphs, charts, to not only for the responsible person to make a decision, but also to, if you have to convince anyone else from your department or from your company that this needs to be done, information can be visualized in a very intuitive way, so that to support specific team member to make the needed decision.
That's helpful. But how do these features help in gaining competitive edge overall? Can you give me some examples?
I think that the simplest answer to this is that you're just faster than your competition. Although in some cases you have to react, especially if you didn't use the automated approach before and started using it just now, you will have to react on the changes that are made on the competitor side. But then when you do this for quite a long period of time, you already know the trends, you already know based on the historical data how the competition behaves in certain cases, if there are any actions that perform before or after, during the big holidays or anything like that, and you can become proactive based on the historical data in real time and access to the real-time data that the platforms supply you with.
Got it. That's awesome. So then let's talk a little bit about what industries can benefit from monitoring systems like that.
I would say that there is no limit, to be honest. It's just worth mentioning that, as I said at the beginning, there are lots of solutions available for e-commerce sector. There are lots of solutions available for the businesses that sell on the marketplaces. There are lots of services and tools for monitoring prices on Amazon, Walmart, lots of other marketplaces, stores, and so on and so forth. When it comes to monitoring multiple resources at the same time, it becomes questionable whether the ready-made solution exists, whether it's flexible enough, whether it provides you with the needed quality of data, with the needed functionality for you to analyze this data moving forward. So one thing is for you to just track how you're doing on eBay. Another thing is to see how are you doing compared to the competitors on eBay, Walmart, CVS, or any other platforms. However, if we're not talking about e-commerce sector, the custom price monitoring solutions are very useful for the big companies that operate in the market with the less number of competitors, or the companies that sell digital products. So we're talking about cybersecurity, insurance, software development, for example, CRM, ERP systems, uh, payment systems, telecom sector. So those are
The big
the,
boys.
yeah, right, the companies that sell digital products and have a limited number of competitors that they should stay on top of. And the companies that can find the ready-made solution on the market and at the same time don't want to rely on a single human who will be responsible for
So usually it
collecting.
sounds like those who have complex product lines and have the need to monitor simultaneously many of them.
Right, like a good example that I can give you is, it's based on our experience, is with the very well-known player in the cybersecurity market. So
Oleg?
their portrait is very close to what I've mentioned before. So this is the big company, and they really have like 10 competitors or so. And there is a dozen of digital products that they sell and their competitors sell that are very similar to what our clients sold. And the cybersecurity world prices there are super dynamic. They depend on the location, on the currency, on the duration of the subscription, on the number of devices that are being used for this subscription. So for them, they really, what they really wanted to do is to understand each of their competitors, which is like 10 of them or so, and the similar products. At what price do they offer them at different regions and with a different duration of the subscription? There was no ready-made product that they could have done, that they could have found, and the approach with the human tracking and monitoring was not feasible for them. So they came to the conclusion that they need to develop their own price comparison system, but they didn't want to use the internal resources because they wanted their internal data engineering team to be focused on analysis, not on the collection of the data. So that's a good example of who may benefit from.
I see. So now let's get to the interesting part. Can you give us some examples of industries where your clients have successfully used these solutions? Can you tell us some stories?
Yeah, absolutely. So the one with the within the cybersecurity industry that I've just mentioned previously. However, the this really doesn't depend on the industry of the business. We have clients from beauty industry that are successfully using a solution like that. They also had to build it in the custom way due to reasons that I mentioned before. The one thing is when you have to, or you have a need to track a single source or a single marketplace. Another situation when you need to track dozens of them. So it really industry really doesn't depend on this need. So it can be beauty industry, it can be retail, e-commerce, cybersecurity, healthcare, payment systems, the insurance, and so on and so forth. So really, lots of it can be applied in lots of industries.
Got it. So it sounds like pretty much any business can benefit from it, obviously, in today's competitive, data driven world.
That's true, but one thing that needs to that businesses need to keep in mind is that in today's world, everybody is saying data is the new gold, and there are lots of systems, solutions that provide you with the data. There is lots of data in the in everything that we see on the internet and so on and so forth. So the main question is how do you make sure that the data you get access to and the data you use is accurate? How to ensure the quality of data? Because what we believe is that you can make the right decisions only based on the quality data that you can get as fast as possible. That's the only way to get a competitive advantage, considering today's world and how many data sources are available for everyone today.
So if I ask you more vague question like, how do, based on your experience, based on your clients, how do you think these solutions, when implemented fully, impact the businesses of your clients on a, use any scale that you may to describe it, or percentage?
Absolutely. So that's a great question, and some of the information I obviously cannot disclose. But what can I say is that for the cybersecurity case, based on using after clients started using the automated software, they were able to increase their sales by 15% over the course of the first quarter after the
Mhm.
solution has been introduced.
Wow.
The client in the beauty industry, they were able to increase their product line because partially the solution that was tracking it helped them understand what
Mhm.
consumers want to see on the market.
Just know the
So it helped
trends,
them,
yeah.
right. So it helped them to increase the product line and increase the customer base and the sales as well. Solutions like that work in consulting industry as well. We have lots of the firms who operate in consulting industry, and based on fast and quick access to the quality data, they were able to help their clients grow, sell more, and so on and so
Mhm.
forth. So definitely, it's beneficial. Getting back
That's
to the
very
question
interesting.
last time, for speed and quality, those are the most important factors.
Awesome. So I guess to conclude, in today's data-driven world, it is really, many times people believe that custom built solutions, they're not cost effective, they're very expensive, and they are hard to implement, where in reality, in today's world at least, it turns out that sometimes it'd be more expensive for you to use off the shelf system that's got some blows and whistles that you may not really need ever, and then you be paying for it, where you can just implement something that's needed to get the data you need and ensure that it is accurate. So I
Absolutely.
believe that is a great thing that is happening today.
What I like to say is that every client knows their business best, and when it comes to selecting the software or the tool for price comparison, it must be educated decision. So all
Mhm.
pros and cons have to be considered. The data quality needs to be ensured and tested, and so on and so forth. So I'm not saying that ready-made solutions are
Of
useless.
course, there's place for them as well.
Each tool has its own purpose. So the main thing, speed and quality, and the main thing to select the software is to educate yourself or use the companies who can consult on that in order to make an educated decision.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us today, and really appreciate the insights you've given us today. See you
Thank you
next
for
time.
the invitation.
Bye
Yeah,
bye.
see ya.